Hey everybody, it's Second Home Vacation Location, and today I am here with Ali Rodriguez, and she is going to tell us all about real estate in Panama and Costa Rica. You talking about Costa Rica today as well?
So yeah, I work for a company, and by the way, thank you, Shannon, for having me on this little interview today. As you guys can see behind me, there we go, it kind of brightened up there for a minute. That is Panama City. So my business office is located in Panama City, Panama, where I have been living now for just over about 7.5 months or so. I originally moved from Texas about 5 years ago to Belize, and lived in Belize for about 4 years on an island called Ambergris Key.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Oh gosh, it is beautiful. If you haven't had a chance to visit, I highly encourage you to do so. Lived in Honduras for about 6 months, and now I am in Panama. So what I do is I work for a home design company called Eco Villages, and Eco Villages is committed to building communities. We live in a world right now where there is, people are trying to find where they fit in. And the idea behind Eco Villages is building a community where people can come together, be around like-minded individuals, with a focus on being eco-sensible. So, you hear about eco-friendly, you hear eco-fanatic all the time. But the reality is that in this part of the world, it's not hard to be eco-fanatic, but being eco-sensible, where you are helping the planet by reducing your footprint, reducing the amount of stressors that you're putting on the earth through things like solar-powered electricity, gray water recycling, and just other smart features in homes that people are choosing to own and live in. Maybe part-time, maybe full-time, or looking at it from an investment perspective. So that's kind of in a nutshell what we do. We have communities actually across the region. So they're in Belize on Ambergris Key, which is a beautiful island located off the mainland of Belize. We have a community there, as well as a community on the Pacific coast of Nicaragua. Absolutely beautiful. It has 3.5 miles of beachfront. There are some homes there, anything from tiny homes to larger 2 and 3 bedroom homes.
Wow.
Yeah, we do a little bit of everything. And the idea is that these homes are helping the planet, but also your pocket. Obviously, if you know anything about other parts of the world, I know I keep coming in and out of light here. I'm sorry. We have
That's okay. That's all right.
But, the idea is that electricity is very expensive down here in part of the world. I mean, you're looking at between 16 and 18 cents a kilowatt typically.
Wow.
So having these solar powered or hybrid systems in these homes greatly reduces, monthly expenses, especially for people that are looking to move out of North America, Canada, or the States that want to go and live a better quality of life for a lower cost. That's really what these homes were targeted for, and what they're designed to do.
Right. Okay.
Think about living a beach life in the tropics, and just having some beautiful nature around you, and just lots of different things you can do. But from a rental perspective, we have a lot of people that are investing in the homes down in this part of the world because there's such an increase in tourism that's happening. It's been happening for about 10 to 15 years, but it's really starting to ramp up, especially with all the other things that are happening around the world these days. So
wow.
That's kind of it. Like I said, we have communities in Belize, Nicaragua, Panama. We just did our official first launch of our Panama property last night.
Wow.
It was quite well attended. We've got a lot of people interested in moving to Panama. It's one of those places in this region that's everybody's heard about moving to Panama. If you're looking for a second residency in a place in this part of the world, Panama and usually Costa Rica are at the top of people's lists. One of our co-founders is actually in Costa Rica. He just flew to Costa Rica this morning to go check out some property there. And so very soon we'll be launching a Costa Rica property as well. So
Really? That's
yeah.
really interesting. Like what a great job. What a great place to a great thing to be able to work in all kinds of different countries, right?
Yeah, I can say that it's a tough job, but I'm not sad to have to do it. in my in my former life back in Texas, I was a teacher, and when I originally moved to Belize, that was the plan, was to teach at one of the schools there on Ambergris Caye. And what I found was I had more parents getting in touch with me from different parts of the world and saying, well, how do I move there? What do I do with myself? Like, how do I actually, what are the steps to actually relocate to another part of the world? And so that brought me into the position that I'm in now today with Eco Villages. And, so we help everybody from A to Z. It's not just the sale of a home, but it's putting you in touch with the right people to make sure that your residency process is smooth, your immigration process is smooth, opening bank accounts. I mean, all these things that people don't really think about. They've been on vacation maybe once, and we like to call it margarita madness. They just say, well, one day I'm going to go and I'm going to retire here and this and that. But there's a lot that goes into it. And so we are just kind of that one-stop shop for people to find a home, find a location in this part of the world that excites them and they want to be in. And then we take you through the whole process. So
that's really excellent. Like I like to be able to be that for people and for our team, when they come to Vancouver Island, that, show them where they go to get their hydro set up and this, and introduce them to a doctor and a hairdresser and all of the things, right? So it's really neat to do, like, to be that for somebody, the one-stop shop where you're going to make it a smooth transition for them, right? So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, and you've hit it on the head. I mean, that white glove service that not everybody offers. And that's why people come back to you and they trust you, and they're the reason why they're probably listening to this interview right now because they believe in what you say.
Well, exactly. If you can, provide that kind of value for somebody, then you're where they come to for everything, which is great, which is really good, right? So
yeah. So if you have people obviously that are interested, Shannon, they can get in touch with you directly, and you can make an email introduction to me, and I'd be happy to help those folks in this part of the world.
That's great. I know we don't have a lot of time, but quickly tell us about price points.
Yeah, great question. So one of the communities I didn't mention before is actually in Honduras, and Honduras and Nicaragua get people almost immediately kind of be like, well, why would anybody want to live in those countries? Because all they hear is the bad. They hear about the elections that happened recently. They hear about, crime. And something that we really have tried to do, and how we do that is through webinars and things like that, is that we help people like get their own feel for something. A lot of times with mainstream media, it's being written by or being newscast by somebody that's never actually stepped foot into these countries, whereas myself and my team, we've all traveled the land, we've put our boots on the ground, and we can give you our own personal perspective on how safe you're going to feel. I mean, as a woman in this part of the world, being out at night, I've never felt unsafe in Belize, Honduras, here in Panama City. I don't feel unsafe walking around at night. But that's a huge misconception that people have, just because a lot of them, that's all they don't hear the good. They don't hear the feel good stories. They just hear the bad ones.
They just hear media.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And they can spin that, any way they want to. But in Honduras, for example, the homes there start at just about $110,000. They are on the Caribbean. They are concrete homes, so they are built to withstand hurricanes and natural disasters like that. That happen in this part of the world. I mean, let's be honest, they do happen. but they are also built to North American standards, meaning the finishes are what you would expect to see in a home. Granite countertops, hardwoods, things like that. But you also own the land that the house sits on. So,
Right.
and we have different models of homes, and they go up from there. I mean, honestly, we have a home like on Ambergris Key in Belize. Our 3-bedroom home there is about $500,000. Just because when you're thinking about if you could have invested, let's say, in Cancun, Mexico 20 years ago, knowing
Yeah.
what their real estate market prices were then versus where they are now, you've got to kind of think about that in relation to how popular these countries are now and versus where they will be in about 10 to 15 years. So your capital gain on homes, more so in Honduras, Nicaragua, they're going to have a more potential than, say, something in Belize. So you're going to put out a little bit more upfront for something in Belize because it's such a popular tourist destination. It still has room to grow. It's not quite on the Cancun level just yet. Whereas Nicaragua and Honduras, they're just now starting to try to brand themselves and get over that hump of having a bad rap. So, there is a wide range. Like I mentioned, we have everything from tiny homes. So when I say tiny homes, about between 300 and 400 square foot homes up to, 13, 14, 1,500 square foot homes. Currently, they're all beach front. So do you want Pacific? Do you want Caribbean? The Panama property is actually in the highlands of Panama. So it's springtime year round, a comfortable 75, 80 degrees. You don't have the humidity that you do on a coastal type property. But that one is like a jungle oasis. It's got streams and natural pools running through it. And the beauty of Panama, of course, is it's very slender. So you're just about an hour or so away from a beach. So kind of the best of both worlds.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And we have a lot
How
of
do you even pick which one you want to be at?
How do you pick? We'll help you. I mean, people, I hate to go too far into the weeds here, but, when people are talking about relocating, are you bringing your kids with you? Do you need to be close to an international school? Do you need to be close to medical facilities? Because every country is a little bit different in what it has to offer. Nicaragua, for example, has some internationally accredited, if you're familiar with accreditation, it's called JCI accredited hospitals. They go through a very rigorous background check and a whole process to get this accreditation. But a lot of people don't know it's available because it just doesn't have as shiny of a name, let's say, as other places.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I guess it just really depends on your needs and what your family dynamic is and that kind of stuff. So.
Yep. It does.
Yeah,
And
that's
again,
great. So how
so
does somebody reach out to you, Allie? I know we are short on time, so better let you go here. Though I could listen to you talk more and more.
Yeah, and I will say I would encourage people to go to our website. It's www.ecovillages.life, not .com, .life. We have a ton of information about communities on our website, but we also have some of these webinars that I was explaining to you, relocation webinars on every country in Central America. We have the full community webinars that we've done in the past. There's a contact me page that people can request more information, but do be sure to let me know that Shannon sent you because we'll be happy to just keep this conversation going. And it really is a fun to work with you and be able to help your clients in this part of the world.
That's great. Well, I can't wait to come and see some of these places in person. Likely might make it to Belize in the January, February, somewhere around there. So
beautiful time to be there.
Yeah, no, that's really great. There are so many people that with the winter we've had this year, definitely thinking about a 6-month plan for somewhere else. So
there you go. I love it.
Yeah. So,
Absolutely. Let me know when you're planning on heading down and I'll meet you there.
okay. That sounds like a plan for sure. So, yeah. Yeah. Okay, well, for more information, you can reach out to Allie, and to get us, you know where to find us on our YouTube channel, Facebook, Instagram, and all the places. So hope everybody's having a great day. Thanks so much, Allie.
Love you. I love you. I love it. I love it.
I love you too.